Hi, this is Kelly. Welcome to my channel. Today we have elegant Gothic hearts. DIY number 1, the Stonebound Heart Reliquary. I got this box at Hobby Lobby. And we're not going to leave it all shiny and glittery. Trust me. It's pretty out like it is, but it's got all this shiny, foily stuff on it. And I peeled as much off as I could. I'm going to cover all this up, but I don't want it to be bulky because as you see here, we want it to fit down in the lid using the lid as a base instead of a lid. So anyway, now here's my go-to texture. This is great for this because all that shiny stuff, we got to cover it up with something. So, and it just makes it so easy to paint and it gives a good textured look. And this was a pain in the butt to get started because it was so slippery. But once you have that first anchor piece on, it's a lot easier. And of course, as you see, I crumpled it up. And just, you don't want to press the wrinkles out. You just kind of uncrumple it. whatever you want to say. And pull it flat. Don't press it flat. And once we get it on there, we're going to come around the top edge and into the inside a little ways. And I also did not take it all the way to the very bottom, and I left the one edge straight because I want that as flat and smooth as possible because, again, that lid is going to, see, I left about an inch where I didn't put any. I don't want it to be too bulky, and but I do want it to slip over the very bottom edge. So you see there, I just kept it one straight edge on the bottom, and the rest is torn so that it will you know, blend into each other when you have to layer it. And I just keep adding, and I add Mod Podge to the top as I go, so you're getting it sealed as well as getting it attached. And bring it over the top. And I also do the inside sides. I don't do the bottom, but I do the sides on the inside as well. And once that's dry, we're going to paint this with rich black chalk paint. Thank you guys for being here with me today. I can't believe how close we're getting to Valentine's Day. It's only about a month away now. It's crazy. So I go ahead and paint the bottom. I didn't texture the bottom. That's going to be covered up, but I didn't want the red showing through. So that's all done, all painted. And we're going to just leave that to dry. And now this shiny, glittery lid, there is a seam that I want to cover up where, you know, it's like a glittery paper that's on here. And we're going to take this spackling. This is heavyweight spackle. It starts out pink and turns white when it's dry. And you see, I'm just going to take my popsicle stick and just kind of pull up to kind of, so that, you know, it looks like the stone's kind of coming up the side a little bit. And scrape off the excess on the bottom there. But I'm only going about a ½ inch all the way across the bottom and then dragging up little sections of it. And just do it here and there. Scrape off the excess again. And I just take my time and just keep on going all the way around. And you don't have to let that dry overnight. It's a good idea just so to make sure. But when it's completely white, it's dry when it's no longer pink. So I'd say I put it from a fan and gave it a couple hours to make sure. But anyway, make sure, absolutely sure it's completely dry. And so I'm painting this with the flat black also. And you see here, when I get to where that plaster is, spackling, whatever you want to call it, I'm kind of dabbing the paint in. First of all, you kind of have to get it in all the little nooks and crannies. But you also don't want to start getting that all wet again and loosening it up. You just want to kind of dab the paint on and take your time. And it's kind of hard to see there, but you know, just let that dry. And now I'm just painting the top, which is going to be the bottom. And we're just going to dry brush this vintage, this grayish, bluish color. And we're going to do it pretty heavy around the bottom where that spackle is. We really want that to show. And continue around the rest of it with a little bit lighter hand. And we're going to do the same, the vintage blue-gray on the box portion and pick up all that nice texture from the tissue paper. Just keep going on around and do the inside as well. So I have this skull here I'd already painted before, and we're going to repaint him. I have this gray, but it's kind of light. So I just add a little black to darken it a little bit. Kind of a charcoal gray maybe. And we're going to paint this entire skull with this gray. And I didn't paint inside the nose or the eyes, because no reason to. I don't have to repaint them black. So now I've got some black paint and some water. And I'm going to do a wash, because we want to darken in the crevices and between the teeth, but we don't want to put another, have to worry about another coat of paint and trying to blend it. And then we're going to wipe that right back off. And that wasn't quite dark enough for me. So I add a little more paint to the water and do it again. And we just pat him dry here. So yeah, here we've got a heavier, a darker. Now we're talking. It's getting in the crevices a little better. And you just keep doing that until you get the look you want. There he is. He looks pretty cool. And I've got this metallic silver. This was a little set I got at Dollar General. But you can buy any kind of silver metallic paint for very inexpensively. I use a lot of it. And we're just going to lightly dry brush the silver to pick up the highlighted areas, the brow and around the outside of the nose and the fronts of the teeth and all that. And just give him a little bit of glamour here. So here's our heart box, all dry and ready to go. And this, let me tell you about this Excelsior. I dyed this with black paint and water. It was just the regular tan Excelsior. And I put it in a gallon Ziploc. I didn't measure anything, but kind of like the paint wash I did, but a little more paint ratio to water. And I put it down in that bag, and it soaked it up and just instantly dyed it. You just got to get in there, kind of mash it together and make sure that liquid covers it completely, and it'll just soak it right up. It worked like a dream. So I've got these Jenga blocks I'm putting in position because I want this skull to be, kind of up high where he's peeking out of the top a little bit. And of course I just painted them black. Make sure I got them in the right position and a little hot glue. So I just laid it, once I got it in the right spot, I laid it over. And you see I'm doing that here. So that I make sure I glued it in the right spot. But yeah, that Excelsior, I can't find black. I can't find it anywhere. So I found black Spanish moss, and it's expensive too. But I bought a bunch of that Excelsior when Joann's was about to close for next to nothing. So I have bags of it. So we're just adding a little hot glue and position our skull where we want him on the top of our blocks there. And the rest of this, I don't glue anything because the way I see it, here's my Excelsior again. The way I see it, you can change this out. You can put whatever you want in here. So I'm going to fill it up with the Excelsior. Fill in all the holes. So you want the skull to be just peeking out of it. And you can use moss. You can get floral foam and do more permanent floral arrangement in there. But I'm just going to put this pretty rose and these black leaves next to the skull here. And that's about it. I've got these little glittery hearts. And you can, change it out for whatever. Change it for different seasons if you want. DIY number 2, Votive Hearts of Devotion. Now I got these little hearts for $1 a piece at Dollar General. I think I bought like 8 of them. I bought a bunch of them. I'll probably go back and get more. And we're going to do 3 of these hearts. So the first thing I do is paint the back with black chalk paint. And end up painting the sides black on all 3 as well. But I've got 3 different textured papers. I got them all from Hobby Lobby. I've used this one before. This has a really great Gothic look to it. And luckily, the heart was a perfect corner shape to put in the corner of the paper and just trace the rest and cut it out. And when you cut these out, cut them on the inside of the line you drew. to avoid having it hanging over the edge. So there's one. Make sure that fits. Then this paper, I love this paper. It's pretty like it is, but once you paint it, it looks kind of like leather. It's pretty cool. And we're gonna do the same thing. Trace it and cut it out. And then I'm just, oh, my dog's barking. Painting the sides black as well. And then I come over the top edge a little bit too, because I don't want any pink showing from underneath in case it doesn't quite reach the edge. And this is the paper that looks kind of like leather I've got here. So we're just going to add some Mod Podge to the top. We don't want it too thick, but we want a nice coat. Make sure you get the edges really well. And we're going to press that down into place. And we're going to do this other paper here. I've already cut out the heart. It's got like these pleats in it. And we just do the same thing, and we're going to Mod Podge that in place. I'm going to adjust it a little bit there. And check your edges. If they're not laid down, you can always pull it up. Just be careful. Gently pull it up and add some Mod Podge underneath. So these are all done. They're all glued in place. And I'm going around with black paint again to get the white edges of that paper there. Because that particular one, we're going to paint burgundy. The other two are painting black. Now, this paper here is it's like tissue paper. It's very thin, so I sealed it with some Mod Podge before I painted it. And here we're back to this paper. I know I'm kind of back and forth. Sorry about that. But this particular one, we're going to paint with true burgundy. That's a folk art. It's not a chalk paint. It's just a matte paint, but it's just so pretty. And we're going to paint that front with the burgundy. Then here's the paper that looks kind of like leather. And we're just going to take some champagne gold metallic and keep going over it until we get the look we want. Look how pretty that is. It's so simple. It doesn't take much to really make these papers are just so beautiful. You can do so much with them. So now the back to the burgundy one here. Once that's dry, I'm going to dry brush some black and catch all the raised areas. And it'll darken it up a little bit. And once that's dry, we're going to take the same champagne gold and hit it with that as well. And then you also want to go around the sides with the gold on all three. Very cool. So now this, I'm not really dry brushing. It's I don't know, a heavy dry brush. I'm not sure what you call it. But I'm not going to completely put a full coat of paint on there. We're just going to kind of go here and there so the black shows through. It's just so pretty. And do the sides. Make sure you get the edges really well. If you're putting gold shimmer on there, it's not really distressing so much, you know, but... And there you have it. So all three hearts are done. Now I've got these half paper towels. I've got two of them laid out, and these worked well for me to line these up because the paper towel was the same width as the heart, so it was just a tiny bit bigger. But I want to make sure they're all lined up evenly. I've got this crocheted ribbon and my staple gun here. And I think you can see where I'm going with this. We're going to make a wall hanging. And I staple it only to the top of the bottom heart. But I staple it to the top and bottom of the other two. And I add some hot glue underneath there. And we're also going to add a piece of black felt over top of each place we stapled it. We don't want that showing or scraping our wall when we hang it up. And we glue that felt down. And I cut the felt to the same width of the ribbon. And then you see where I'm pointing. We're going to put another staple there. And then also on the bottom of the top part in the same place. And then you see I'm putting the black felt over top. And we just put the black felt everywhere there's a staple. So now I've got this ring I made out of some sculptable wire I have. And I've got another piece of felt on the underside of this ribbon, and we're going to get some hot glue on the felt and glue it to the ring, and then we're going to get some more glue here and glue the two ends of the felt together. Now I'm holding the ribbon in here with it. I'm not gluing that yet. You can do this separately, but I was just kind of trying to make sure everything was lining up. And then, like I said, make sure that felt's glued together really well. Then we're going to glue the ribbon to the felt. So I'm making sure everything's in position. And this ribbon has areas where there's holes in it, but it has areas where there's not. So I'm making sure to just use a small amount of glue as I can and hit the areas where, there's full coverage, no holes in it. I know it's hard to see, and I'm kind of flipping it over. And then when I glue the front of the ribbon to the felt, I'm extra careful. I don't want it to seep through. But if it does, there's a fix for that. It's no big deal. I know it's hard to see. But basically, we fold the felt over the bottom of the loop, the inside of the loop, and then fold the ribbon over top of the felt and glue it. Now you see I've got some black chalk paint, and I'm just dabbing where the glue seeped through on the back. And if that happens on the front, that will hide it. I always say black hides everything. So I've got some chiffon ribbon just laying on top of each other, different colors, black and burgundy and nude. And I've got this little wooden heart that has a hole in the middle of it, and I'm running my black twine through that little hole. And then I've got this little key charm, and we're going to put that on top of the heart, and that's going to be in the front of our bow. And we find the center of our ribbons and pinch it together. And we want to lay the front of our ribbons on the back of the heart there, if that makes sense. And then tie a knot in the back. And get that nice and tight. And it's not a bad idea after you get a couple knots in there to get just a tiny dab of hot glue on the knot and then do one more knot. So I'm just playing with it, figure out where I want to put it. You just want to separate all your pieces of ribbon. And I decided to glue it off to the side a little bit rather than in the center. And that's it. Here's my reveal. Thank you guys again for being here with me today. I really appreciate it. And by the way, this will be Friday's video. So Tuesday, I may not get a chance to upload a new project. My husband is having a shoulder replacement surgery on Monday, but I'll try to have something up for you, and then I should be back to my normal, new items on Friday. Thanks again. Don't forget to like and share and all the things. Bye.